Yo, welcome back. I'm gonna be adjusting my mic just a tad bit, or maybe I should just get the mic further away from my mouth. That's probably a little bit better. I don't know about the audio though. I have no clue, to be honest. I did notice that the intro was a tad bit too loud. Regardless, welcome back. Semi-final, race 6. Today we're in Watkins Glen. But before I go into further details and everything, this is the 5fi-racing.com website. That's 5fi-racing.com. Once you hit that in the search bar, you can load up this beautiful website. Click on SimGrid. Once you're here, Season 6 is what we're at right now. We still have one silver spot left, so if you'd like to register, feel free to do so. Just hit register. We're gonna go over the results tab real quick. Standings, sorry. Standings. For the goal split, we have Albert Tranchisi still in P1 with 199 points. Joshua Worley, he's in P2 with 152 points. And Daniel Hirsch is in P3 with 142.5 points. The battle for P2 is heating up. It's almost safe to say Albert might win this series, at least for the gold split. Not throwing my streamer's curse at him, but you know, it's looking that way. In the silver class, we have Albert Guiana, sorry. He's in P1 with 183.5 points. Alexander Sabo, he's in P2 with 151 points. Greg Landry is in P3 with 150.5 points. The battle for P2 in the silvers is also heating up. Again, it's almost safe to say that Albert Patiena in this silvers class is probably gonna take the championship. Uh, Hard to say. Still 2 races left. Who knows? For teams, start with the silvers. We have a Fry Racing with Alexander Sabo and Justin Fry. They're in P1 with 246 points. Team JK Motorsports with Jeff Kelly and Jonathan Kelly with 199.5 points, P2. And Liar Liar Tires on Fire with Greg Landry. He is at 150.5 points. In the gold split, we have Tranchisi Designs a race team, P1, with Albert Tranchisi and Joshua Worley. They have 351 points. My god, they are well above what I thought was possible. P2 is Sector Brown with Daniel Hirsch and Kyle Hirsch. They have 243 points. And P3, we have the Iron Lame Racing with Zach Manriquez. He's at 126.5 points. We'll go a step further and call out the Samurai Racing team. This is with Jake Wells. He can take P3. The battle for P3 is on in the gold splits for the teams division. He has 126 points. He's in P4. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly happens and if he is able to take that away from Zach. Heading to the replay, we have so much ground to cover. Race start, it was a little, dare I say, spicy, as you'll see there. Joshua Worley and Daniel Hurd got into contact and mayhem. Absolute mayhem. A bunch of our drivers ended up getting hit. Plenty sustained what I thought was a severe amount of damage, but many decided it was not worth going to the pits and repairing that damage. As we scroll through the cameras, heading to the front, Brad Tarno is still in. He's in P2. Albert Tranquilli was able to escape and get away from the carnage there. In lap 2, we had Kyle Busch overtaking Daniel Hirsch. Where, you might ask? Right there. But Hirsch took it right back. Kyle went a little bit too wide, and the fight for, what was this, potentially P5-ish was pretty much on. Lap 3, Kyle Busch and Daniel Hirsch, they were going at it once again. Daniel in front, Kyle behind. He's on the outside for one of the difficult sets of corners here. He goes a little wide, and because of how close everyone was, everyone had to slow down just a tad bit. Kyle, though, still not giving up this position. He was hard on the brakes. He was aggressive on the accelerator. As you see there, he gets the drive out. Daniel Hirsch, not so lucky, had a little bit of a tiny wheel spin there that pretty much cost him that position right there. Excuse me. A good move by Kyle Busch. And then Daniel Hirsch, though, forced to go on the defensive as Sam Staples says, if Kyle goes through, I'm going through. And he goes up and challenges for that position. Daniel Hirsch, unfortunately, not able to stop the bleeding right then and there. Sam Staples able to complete the overtake. Great move by both of them. Right there, it's completed. It's done. Up tier driving. 10 out of 10. You give me a moment. I'm gonna check the audio, make sure everything is okay. Lap 4. We had Kyle Busch and Jonathan Kelly going at it once again. Or not once again, just they're going at it. Kyle Busch basically going at it with almost everyone, trying to get ahead very, very quickly. He is relatively good at this track if you look at past or previous history. Nonetheless, he ends up completing the overtake on Jonathan Kelly. Very good move. Once again, at lap 6, the one and only Kyle Busch goes on the attack against Joshua Worley. He has the inside. Joshua Worley forced to slightly slow down and not get into contact. Decides it's better to fight in another section of the track. Sam Staples, though, he almost sneaks by following Mr. Busch. Jake Wells, lap 6. He had a little tussle between him and Gelson Cruz. As you see there, a light little tap by Gelson Cruz on the outside. Jake Wells either trying to distract him by flashing the lights or annoyed about the slight little contact, and he was forced to lose the position. Nonetheless, rubbing is racing, and dare I say, good move on Gelson Cruz. Lap 7. And Greg Landry tries to go on the inside of Brad Tarno. Kyle Busch and Alexander Sabo get into contact, and Alexander Sabo, forced to go on the grass, ends up technically on the replay overtaking Greg Landry. Greg Landry, though, able to outrun him and outbreak him, keep his positioning. Up 8. Kyle Busch and Alexander Sabo. He is back at it again. He wants that position from Alexander Sabo. Sabo has a bit of a slide there. Goes off the track just a tad bit. That allows Kyle Busch to easily get it right by him. Sam Staples almost trying to do the same thing to get right by him. Decides he's not close enough to make a move happen, especially in that difficult section of the track, especially during what appears now is a flooded track. The downpour was coming. Anthony Muno goes out on the grass in turn 2. Daniel Hirsch able to easily get by him. An unfortunate turn of events for Anthony Muno. Lap 10, we had Brad Tarno and Sam Staples. Sam looking like a wild horse out there. Able to get by Brad Tarno because Tarno made a mistake. Kyle Busch now eager to seize this opportunity and get right by him. Takes advantage of all the slipstream that he can gather. Staples at this point trying to run away, get away from Kyle Busch. They've been back and forth fighting this whole time. Kyle eventually makes the pass on Tarno. Tarno forced to stop the bleeding at this point. So, we had a bit of an incident between these two. You had Albert Tranchisi going a little bit wide. No contact was made, but Daniel Hirsch was able to get through him. At this point, Albert is still in P1. And he was a couple seconds ahead, I believe. Maybe roughly 30 or so. You also had Anthony Muno having a difficult time in the rain. as he ends up losing his rear end and manages to at least safely park it in the grass away from the racing line. Unfortunately, though, allows because of that small little error, it allows two drivers to get on by. Muno started off really well, and then once the port came, it looked to me at least, it appeared that he was having a bit of a difficult time to control that car. Brad Tarno ended up going wide in lap 11 and allowed Alexander Sabo to get right by him. Tarno also having a difficult time either controlling the car from managing braking markers or just figuring out the new braking distance because of the slippery track. The overly slippery track. Lap 12. We had a bunch of incidents happen simultaneously from one another. Lombardo ended up overcooking it just a tad bit. Muno ended up passing him. Lombardo eventually joins the racing line, but Muno loses it right in front of him. Sam Staples comes from the other side along with Kyle Busch. Sam Staples, if you look at your top left, ends up cooking it, loses his rear. Kyle Busch almost does the exact same thing, but him being Sam Staples, losing the grip on that corner allowed Kyle Busch to overtake him. These two, again, they've been on it, fighting it out a good majority of the track. And it was fun seeing these two exchange blows. Justin Fry on the outside, Jake Wells on the inside. Jake Wells ends up overtaking Justin Fry. Fry trying to do everything he can to prevent that from happening. Eventually ends up going right behind him to take the racing line, the faster line. No sense in going for a defense that's already... a defense on a path that's already occurred. A good pass by Jake Wells. Brad Tarno in lap 15. Defending against Greg Landry. He's on the outside, and to me at least, it felt like Tarno let him through. Maybe he was having a little bit of a difficult time in the rain. Greg Landry, though, went very wide. Almost allows Brad to just overtake him right then and there. So Albert Tranchisi had another yellow flag incident in turn 2. Turn 1 right there, the little kink. So this is turn 2. Clips the corners and just loses it. Allows two drivers to go by. Luckily though, I believe still at this point he was in P1, but his lead was slowly dwindling because of the mistakes that he's been occurring or having. Lap 18, Albert Gianna and Justin Fry having a little bit of a battle there. Gianna takes the racing line and takes those sets of corners very nicely. Justin Fry overcooked one of the corners, then pretty much transferred into the rest of the corners. Unfortunately, lost that positioning. Good move by Albert Gianna, seizing the opportunity. Lap 19. There's so many incidents, ladies and gentlemen. We're essentially watching the entire race. just while watching these incidents. Well, Dawson Cruz gets through Brad Tarno. Brad Tarno just letting both these drivers go on through. Very nice, very classy of him to do. Very gentlemanlike. Not trying to impede their battle, their fight. Joshua Worley still staying right behind him, putting an immense amount of pressure on Gelson. So lap 22 laps later, Albert Tranchisi, pretty much nearly the exact same corner, ends up losing it. Those curves are no joke. Luckily though, he was able to recover, and his P1 spot pretty much almost gone, or nearly gone, as the rest of the drivers start catching up to him at that point. Unfortunate for Tranqueezy there. Whirly and Gelson Cruz here had a little bit of a battle. Cruz goes way wide. Whirly seizes the opportunity and gets right along him, or right beside him, and makes the pass happen. Very nice, very smooth. It's what we love to see. Gelson Cruz hasn't been racing with us, or he has. He was a regular and recently just came back, but it looked like he was having a little bit of a issue in the rain, or at least in that problem corner. Those corners that just happened. Lap 24, Albert Guiana and Jonathan Kelly. Guiana on the outside manages to pass and to get by and pass Jonathan Kelly. Justin Fry almost getting the better of those two coming out of the pits. Regardless, a great move by Albert Guiana. So, I believe this is like lap 26 or so. You're watching or if you're following the Instagram page, you'll notice that this is the crash of the week. And what an avoidance by Gelson Cruz. Unfortunately for Jonathan Kelly, he, my goodness, had that crash parked it smack dab in the center where he shouldn't be. How Cruz avoided this while getting a spray in front of his face is beyond me. Went into the grass and still managed to control the vehicle in the wet. Very nice, not too shabby. Excellent driving skills by Cruz. Lap 26, Albert Guiana, Alexander Sabo. They're going at it. Guiana on the inside manages to sneak by and challenge Alexander Sabo. Alexander Sabo, though, trying not to give this up, tries to make a defense happen there, but Guiana having too much speed, he's too far ahead, or just stuck his head far enough in that there was nothing that he could do about it. Lap 27, Anthony Muno and Brad Tarno, they're going at it. And they were going at it for a good portion of the remaining of the race. Anthony Muno manages to overtake Brad, but Brad, hard on the brakes, manages to secure and continue that defensive run, forcing Muno to work hard for that position. Not able to make that pass happen. Lap 28, they're still continuing to fight. And unfortunately for Brad, though, he goes way wide, or hits the curb, which forces him to go wide. And Muno almost gets caught up in that incident, ends up going off the racing line to avoid a hit. And the two drivers behind him are fighting for the position of their own. They're being overlapped. You see the blue flag there. I'll fast forward just a tad bit. And Muno is on the outside, and he lets Justin Fry through. And Brad Tarno seizing this opportunity to stick with Fry, the slightly faster driver, forcing Anthony Muno to be on the outside of these next corners. Brad doing the very smart thing and giving Anthony Muno a difficult time in securing that positioning. Unfortunately, though, don't want to spoil it, but something ends up happening to Brad. Something not so great. Regardless, though, he is climbing up the boards, tries to make a move happen on Fry, and he ends up making a pass happen in the chicanes. How these two avoided a hit in the wet is beyond me. That was spot on driving by Tarno and Fry. You look up to your top left hand corner, you'll see Gelson Cruz off on the road. He had a little bit of an issue, pretty much lost his rear. Eventually ended up getting on the track, rejoining nice and safe. We're gonna focus on these two though. They're still continuing to battle. Tarno out in front, and unfortunately for Tarno, his engine gave up right here, right there, and then right behind him we have another battle approaching. This is Greg Landry and Jonathan Kelly. Greg Landry makes the move happen on Jonathan Kelly before turn 2, secures the positioning. Jonathan Kelly still fighting it out. Brad, though, forced to not participate, unfortunately, because of that engine damage. If I could play sad music, I would. So you might be wondering how he sustained that amount of engine damage. It could be a number of varying factors. Too much downshifting or too much wheel spin, especially in the wet. Your engine revs get way too high, past their limiter or close to their limiter at extended periods of time. Bad shifting. It's just numerous things. It's just unfortunate for him to happen. He was having such a good race. Forced to retire early. Lap 31 is your race winner, your race finisher, your gold division winner. I'm gonna lower that race recap so you can actually read that. Jake Wells. He does celebratory donuts. We love to see it. And your silver division winner is Albert Guiana. He took the W for the Silver League. So congrats to him. Muno right behind him. Not too far back. Giving us the old flashing lights for the victory, for the win. One thing that you'll notice is pay attention to the right side of your screen. I thought this was absolutely fun and funny. Muno, after crossing the finish line, has a little bit of fun. This I should just leave it. Well, that was it. That was your race recap for. Oh my. Whatever. We're trying to adjust some layers. So today we're in Watkins. If you give me a few moments, I want to make sure and verify that all audio and all mics is good to go, because I feel like no audio was heard, like engine noises from that. At least I didn't hear any. I guess Spotify can be turned down just a tiny bit on the music here. Anyways, if you're here in chat, let me know from the race recap, were you able to hear it? Because I didn't hear anything, and I don't know. That's so weird. That's on my end. Nonetheless, who will be your winner for Watkins Glen is the real question. Last time we were on Watkins Glen, it was a dual sprint, and Jake Wells beat out Albert Tranchisi in race 1 and in race 2. So will the same thing occur this time around? Who knows? Only time will tell. And you might be wondering, why am I showing you Watkins Glen instead of the actual track? Well, ladies and gentlemen, for whatever reason, I'm having trouble connecting. So I'm just biding some extra time, you know, making sure everything is all good and gravy on my end before we call it quits. So far we're good. I'm back on track. I would show what everyone's doing, but it's currently practice or free practice. I only have a handful of drivers out on the actual grid, completing the laps, continuing their practice. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I have your starting positions for Watkins Glen. So, give me a moment. You have in P1, Jake Wells. He's going to be starting us off. P2 is Albert Tranchisi. Ross O'Connor is in P3. Chris Unfair, P4. Albert Guiana, P5. Daniel Hirsch, P6. Joshua Worley, P7. Jeff Kelly, P8. Jonathan Kelly, P9. And Zach Manriquez, P10. We'll go one more. Alexander Sabo, he's P11. The rest we will find out as soon as the grid starts up, or everyone lines up for the grid. Overall, the fastest average lap between Albert Tranchisi and Jake Wells, it was very, very close. It was, what is this, 1/10. Albert Tranchisi was 1/10 off Jake Wells' average clean lap time. So what's gonna end up happening in this race is quite exciting. As, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, a surprise to me, and what will be a surprise for you too, is this is a night race. We get to be under the stars, and I hope everyone actually turns on their lights this time. Calling you out, Guiana, right there in P5. P4 now. Calling you out. I see your lights off. What's going on? Nonetheless, we'll go down the grid. We have Albert Tranchisi in P1. Wait. Why is Jake Wells down in P15? What is up with the starting? Ignore everything I said in the beginning. We have Albert Tranchisi in P1, Daniel Hirsch in P2, Joshua Worley in P3, Albert Guiana in P4, Zach Manriquez in P5, Jonathan Kelly in P6, Greg Landry in P7, Brad Tarno P8, Anthony Lombardo P9, Victor Sabo P10, Justin Fry P11, Chris Unfair P12, Alexander Sabo P13, Jacob Meyer P14, Jake Wells P15, interesting, Jonathan Kelly P16, also interesting. And what's going on? Kyle Busch closing us up, P17. Those last three are actually very fast drivers, are decently quick, so yeah. Race is about to go, or about to start. Green light is lit.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The race 6 is on. Albert Tranchisi is on the inside. Daniel Hirsch on the outside. Already incidents galore. What happened? Unsure, but we're gonna keep on going because they're gonna be heading into the bus stop, and I know something spicy is going to happen, potentially in the bus stop. We're gonna go down the list and see what exactly happens. Try to capture if anything actually happens. Very clean so far, which is exactly what we love to see. As I think Lombardo has to go on defense. Alexander Sabo tries to make moves happen on the outside. I think this is one of those corners where being on the outside is actually very disadvantageous. Anthony Lombardo easily needs that defense. Chris Unfair gets right behind Alexander Sabo. Tries to sneak up and make moves happen. So far, Albert Tranchisi running away with it. That clean air is very advantageous. The battle for P2 and all the rest are going on. It's hard to actually keep track and point a camera at someone who's actually going to be making attempts. Alexander Sabo, though, makes the move, not keeping the speed, though. Everyone's scrambling to get positioning. Alexander Sabo, and Lombardo still fighting it out just a tad bit. Lombardo loses a ton of places, looks like at least 5. Holding my breath just because I do not know what's gonna happen here. The bus stop is a dangerous sets of corners. As Joshua Worley, he probably got involved into the contact and oh no! I know what ended up happening and I will reveal it later. Why Worley's in the back. Regardless though, we're gonna continue the battle for P2 and move the camera here and there depending on how close certain fights become. Jonathan Kelly getting extremely close to Alexander Sabo, trying to make a move happen. Is Alexander Sabo getting very close on Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch jumped a ton of places already. He was last and currently sitting in P8. So he fought his way up to the very tippy top. Or he's getting to the tippy top. Jake Wells in the pits. I'm not sure if he's actually pitting to get rid of his requirement, excuse me. Or if he actually had damage, enough damage to warrant the pit. Zach Manriquez, though, he's breathing down Daniel Hirsch's back. And heading into the bus stop, that is so sketchy. As Albert Guiana loses it, gonna keep it trained on him since he's in a precarious spot where he could potentially freak out another driver and target fixation can happen and bigger incidents can arise. Good thing though, nothing ends up happening. He gets back on track nice and safe. Zach Manriquez though makes moves happen on Daniel Hirsch. He is in front, both of them side by side, coming out of the last final corners, or couple the final corners. These two keep fighting. Jonathan Kelly's gonna get right behind him as Daniel Hirsch is trying to distract Zach Manriquez, flashing the lights. potentially make him make a mistake. And Zach Manrique securing P2. Will he be able to hold it coming out of turn 1 though, and heading down the straight? And he does. He must have tuned that Porsche very nicely, because normally you would not have that much speed heading down the back straight. So love to see that. We're gonna jump by to Greg Landry, who's making moves on his own, of his own. He's getting very, very close to Chris Unfair in P5. Lost the pace though, heading into the inner loop, the bus stop. Jonathan Kelly though, not losing the pace. He is right on Kyle Busch, making moves happen. He won't be close enough for a move here. Watkins Glen, already a very tough and difficult track to pass in, especially if there's a bunch of traffic around you. Even harder when you have a driver in front of you who is pretty much matching your pace. There's only so much you can do, especially if you have a draft. Whereas a good defense will always just outright block you and deny you the opportunity to pass. You just have to hope to keep the pressure up. Try to force the other driver to make a mistake, as what Jonathan Kelly's doing is the exact thing you should be doing. Just make him make a mistake just like that. Kyle Busch going a little bit wide. Jonathan Kelly should be able to seize the opportunity. He's getting very, very close. Not sure if he'll be able to pass him heading into the bus stop. He flashes him, letting him know, I'm right behind you. Do not mess up, or we'll both die. They go into the inner loop, exiting the inner loop, entering the outer loop now. Jonathan Kelly's so close. He's 2/10 off Busch. You for sure know that Busch is feeling it. Look how close he is. How is he even able to see around Busch here? Luckily it's not nighttime and it's not raining, otherwise that would be quite bad. Oh, quite bad for Jonathan Kelly. Not as bad for Kyle Busch if it was raining. Both these drivers having, well, Kyle Busch having the slightly slower pace, but one thing I do know about Mr. Busch here is once he's in front of you and he puts on that defensive cap on, Jonathan Kelly proving me wrong about the statement I was just about to say. I was going to say that once he puts that defensive cap on, it's going to be insanely hard to get past him. Jonathan Kelly says, hold my beer. Let me show you how it's done, Juan. This is how you pass him. Kyle Busch though, no way they're gonna go side by side into the bus stop. Both hard on the brakes, mounting the curbs. He's squirrely, but he's controlled. He gets through it. Jonathan Kelly forced to experience what I am talking about. That defensive cap is on. He continues to force Jonathan Kelly to stay behind him. What happened to Tarno and Justin Fry? Oh no, in the bus stop. We will be reviewing that Hopefully next time around, ladies and gentlemen. As these two, the battle between these two is raging on. The battle between Anthony Lombardo and Jacob Meyer also going on. Jacob Meyer trying to get around Lombardo here. Brad Tarno having another yellow flag. His tires must be cooked. And did we lose a driver? I swore I saw we started out with 17. Nonetheless, we're gonna jump between Jacob and Kyle, but we're gonna stay with these two since Jacob almost made moves happen. Lombardo's still out in front. Kyle this time though is behind Jonathan Kelly. We just missed the overtake happen between these two. This time around though, Kyle Busch not able to get in front of oh my. I didn't know the Audi was a lawnmower. As he mounted the grass in the bus stop and on the exit of the outer loop. He's definitely pushing, trying to get close to Jonathan Kelly. Jeff Kelly though, I'm gonna switch to him very quick. The battle for P3 is on as Zach Manriquez is pretty much gone. Daniel Hirsch has to put on his defensive cap. You could just see Zach Manriquez out in front. He's roughly 8 seconds away from Albert Tranchisi. So will Albert have another mistake just like the previous couple races? We will not know. Only the future will tell. Only time will tell. As we're gonna quickly check out Albert Guiana, who is on his way to attempt to secure P12 from Victor Sabo. He is on him. Albert probably has the drive coming out of that corner. He has the inside for turn 1, which is where you want to be. We need to switch over from this fight to Jeff Kelly. Because for whatever reason, Daniel Hirsch has a white flag. Great job on Albert Guiana to secure that position with that move. What happened between these two? Still watching the live view. We haven't hit the replay as of yet. Greg Landry also trying to make moves on Jonathan Kelly. The Kellys are on attack and on defense. Team JK Motorsports is trying to secure those points. It would be quite a spectacle to actually see both of them right behind each other, and potentially one defends while the other gets away. That would be quite a sight to see, as Jacob Meyer has a yellow. Where is he? He's out of tow. In the boot, heading towards heel for an 8. He probably just lost the rear. That's typically what ends up happening. As Alexander Sabo goes to fight Kyle Busch. Where are these two? Oh, they're heading down the back straight. Don't think Alexander Sabo will have what it takes to make the move happen here at the bus stop, but we'll stick with these two and see if anything comes about it coming out of the bus stop. That's the answer, the outer loop. And so far, very good driving by both these drivers, keeping to each other's paces. We're gonna let this battle simmer as we jump to Jeff Kelly, who is, believe it or not, getting slowed down by Daniel Hirsch. Daniel Hirsch putting on that defensive cap, showing us what it's like to actually successfully defend against a Mustang driver who is not following the Mustang instincts and running everybody over. He's currently 8 tenths. Jeff Kelly's currently 8 tenths off. Chris Unfair is 3 tenths off Daniel Hirsch. And wow, did Jeff just close that gap, like increase, like very fast. I'm at a loss of words. What is gonna happen here as both Chris and Jeff are fighting for position with lap traffic? Oh, Chris is coming in hot. Oh, what's gonna happen in the bus stop? Both of these drivers are gonna be hard on the brakes. Chris on the outside, Daniel on the inside. He couldn't make the switchback happen. He tried. I saw the little stutter, the little move there. He tried to make it work and decided against it. Chris, though, going on the outside, and him and Daniel touch. Lombardo barely able to escape getting involved into that incident. Oh, that's gotta 100% that's gotta suck. That's gonna hurt. You were right there in the battle for P3, and the slightest of touches at that speed is all it takes for you to have a bad day. As Jeff Kelly is forced to slow down yet again by Daniel Hirsch. Alexander Sabo and Chris Unfair going at it. Chris trying to make moves happen. I'm trying to get back on the top. Not sure if he has too much damage, to be honest. He does have quite a bit. I'm not sure if it's enough to warrant a pit. It might be best to go in for a pit. I'm pretty sure he's going to repair damages, do the tire swap, just get everything out of the way, come out fresh, and set some blazing fast laps, and hopefully he'll be able to close the gap and catch up to both of these two. Maybe his pit stop strategy is going to be insane, and he's going to just out pit Jeff and Daniel. As the pace between these two, Jeff Kelly is the slightly faster driver. By slightly is by a lot. His personal best is a 146.357. Daniel Hirsch is sitting at a 146.750. So Daniel Hirsch is roughly 5/10 off Jeff Kelly's personal best. So Jeff Kelly does have the overall pace to try to get by, or to try to make moves happen against Daniel Hirsch. It's just Daniel Hirsch is very effectively defending against Kelly, as Albert had a yellow turned white flag. No damage to his car. I'm wondering what exactly happened. Maybe it was just maybe he just scraped the wall just a tiny bit. Nonetheless, though, man, I turn the camera away and I just see Jeff Kelly way behind Daniel Hirsch. What happened here? What I did say, though, did come into fruition. Jeff Kelly and Jonathan Kelly, Team JK Motorsports, are right next to each other. I wonder if whoever is the faster driver is he just gonna let him go and try to make moves happen against Daniel. I wonder if they're going to implement a team strategy here to try to knock him down. To get Sector Brown out of P3. This is essentially looking it's realistically a free-for-all. A 1v1v1. In reality, though, this is more of a 2v1. Team JK Motorsports versus Sector Brown alone. Daniel Hirsch. Something must have definitely happened to Jeff as he's low on pace. He ends up going to the pits. Allows Jonathan Kelly to take over and try to get close and hunt down Daniel Hirsch, who, dare I say, is doing an amazing job defending and holding his own, securing P3. Joshua Worley also in on the pits. So a bunch of our drivers are completing their pits a little earlier, a little ahead of schedule. In these hour-long sprint sessions, you do not... a pit stop is required. It is absolutely mandatory. But you do not need to take tires or fuel, I believe. Don't quote me on this, though. I could be absolutely wrong. I believe this is one of those instances where you just have to pit. You can literally do a 3-second stop and go and just get on your way. In fact, let me double check and see if I am just going crazy over here. "60-minute sprints." This is off the SimGrid website. If you'd like to join us, we still have one spot available. That's 5FIRacing.com. 5, 5FI Racing.com. Put that in, click on the SG, that's SimGrid. We're in Season 6. Right now we're in Watkins Glen. Our final event is going to be in the Green Hell in Nürburgring. We're heading to Germany. It's not going to be an hour-long event. No. This is a special race. This is going to be a 2-hour mini endurance event. Worth double the points too. So it's gonna be quite exciting. As was that Kyle Busch? Kyle Busch hits the wall very, very hard. That's gotta one, hurt, and two, it's gonna affect his car handling if that was a big enough impact. Greg Landry is probably going to be eagerly getting closer and closer, trying to make moves happen. Jonathan Kelly and Victor Savo also trying to make moves happen. We're gonna be switching to Jonathan Kelly and see what's going on with him. He's right behind Daniel Hirsch. He's picking up the pace where his teammate dropped off went to go pit. He's 4/10 off Daniel Hirsch. But in terms of overall best lap or best pace and everything, he is still fast. He's sitting at a 146.227. As a reminder, Daniel Hirsch is at a 146.750. Roughly half a second faster than Hirsch. Daniel Hirsch. He's He's going on the inside for turn 1. That's exactly where you want to be, but they make contact. Daniel Hirsch, not what you want to see. He gets spun out by Jonathan Kelly. Unfortunate. Also unfortunate is that we do not have a live steward for this event. Otherwise, you can guarantee that a little penalty might have already been dished out to Jonathan Kelly there. As Daniel Hirsch gets a little squirrely coming out of the bus stop. Greg Landry off on the dirt. Where is this? This is coming out of the bus stop. Let me see if I can... Unfortunately, I can't pull up that specific incident. I have another little software running to see if there's any incidents here or what exactly happened. What number is Landry? He's 528. Let me see if I can find him. 528, yellow flag. That might not be the right incident. I also don't want to screw up anything on the stream, so we're just gonna ignore that. Jump to Worley, who's making moves happen against Victor Sabo. Heading into turn 1. Man, he goes deep on the brakes on the inside. Secures the position though. Very nicely done. Great move on Victor Sabo. Watkins Glen, at least towards the... what is this? First half of the race, is mainly right turns. So you best better believe you should be attempting to defend the inside as much as possible. But if not, another driver's going to come up right behind you and just take that spot from you, force you to slow down, take the outside line, the slower line. Nonetheless, we switched to Jeff Kelly because he was very, very close to Jacob Meyer, as Albert Yanna has an accident. Where is this? This is coming out of... this is a shoot. Turn 6, coming out of the outer loop. I'm not sure why he lost control there. Might have had contact with another driver that I don't know about. I can see the incident on my log. I just can't get it to replay, unfortunately.
We are at the halfway mark, still a long way to go.
Nonetheless, 30 minutes have gone by. Albert Tranchisi is still far out in P1. I don't believe he's completed his pits though. Let's bring up these pit stops and verify. I do not believe this one bit. It says Jeff Kelly hasn't completed his pit stop, but we definitely saw him go in there. Yeah, we're gonna ignore that. Nonetheless, I'm fairly certain that both Albert Tranchisi and Zach Manriquez here, and dare I say Jonathan Kelly, have not completed their pits. Joshua Worley, though, making moves happen on Jacob Meyer, or at least trying to. He's on the outside, Jacob Meyer covering the inside, trying to prevent him from getting around him. Will he cover the inside of turn 1 though? Joshua Worley flashing him, letting him know I'm right behind you. He successfully defends, or Joshua Worley just decided it wasn't worth the risk not being right alongside him in turn 1. Both these drivers in BMW, so they're essentially identically matched. The only difference would be in terms of setup and how they actually drive the course. Who takes the better lines, who accelerates just a tad bit faster and better, who brakes a little bit longer and shorter. And so far though, Joshua Worley put in an insane amount of pressure on Jacob Meyer, who is for sure feeling the heat. Worley feeling a little bit more of it though, as he has a little bit of a squirrely moment right there, losing a little bit of traction going up into toe. Turn 7. It's Jacob Meyer runs way wide. Hopefully not freaking out that he defended very well. Nonetheless, those mistakes, you can forgive one with the amount of distance that Worley had. You can't forgive another one, as he's getting very close. Currently 8/10 right behind him, and after they complete turn 1, the 90, going into the back straight, I'm fairly certain that gap is going to close substantially, as it's already closing half a second. 2/10, Worley putting on a show here, stepping hard on that throttle, trying to get past him. It looks like he topped out on his limiter. Both hard on the brakes, side by side. Oh goodness. That was for sure a butt pucker moment there. Code Brown incident right there. As while that was happening, Chris Unfair gets by Justin Fry. Currently, Chris Unfair is in P12. Completed his pit stop. Probably repaired damage. We can actually check his car to verify that. A good move, though, getting by Justin Fry. Is that Zach Manriquez approaching them? That is Zach Manriquez. The lap traffic is coming by. Still hasn't made his pit. I'm gonna quickly check on Chris. Has no damage. Did repair everything. Hopefully wasn't in the pits for too long. We'll jump back to Jacob Meyer, who's the next closest battle. Currently roughly a second behind Joshua Worley. Everybody finally settling in. Um, Brad and Bush having... Where is he? There he is. Bush having issues. Let's see if we can watch this replay. Currently viewing the replay right here. We are... What happened to our replay? Where is Kyle Bush? Huh? Wait, what? Replay ain't working, folks. Replay is not working. Well, Bush hasn't completed his pit. He will be pitting now. Does he have a lot of damage? It looks like he does. He's pretty banged up and scuffed a little bit. He's currently sitting in P5. He's looking at potentially finishing in P7. If he repairs damages. Or depending on how much damage he actually has, to be honest. And Albergiana is getting next to Victor Sabo. Gianna on the inside of turn 1, Sabo on the outside. Gianna successfully takes P8. Victor Sabo forced to be on the outside, or to be behind Albergiana. Gianna just losing Victor Sabo. He must have had a very nice run coming into the back straight. Franchise finally went in on his pit. As soon as everyone starts to complete their pit stops, I'll be able to give you some pit times. And Albert is actually... He sat in the pits for an extended period of time and an outrageous amount of time. Unusual amount of time for him. Jacob Meyer has a white flag for whatever reason, but seems like he just slowed down just a tad bit. Probably just a bit. I'm gonna jump on Gianna, who is still ahead of Victor Sabo. Victor Sabo not too far behind. Maybe some moves can happen here. Victor Sabo still has to complete his lap. Alright, his pit. Justin Fry is currently in the pits as well. I was just about to say that he needed to complete his pits. But that's not true. Jonathan Kelly had a yellow flag and it scared me just a tad bit. I thought he had an accident. Turns out he's just heading to the pits, so I guess the only one left to pit is Victor Sabo and Alexander Sabo. Everyone else is either in the pits or have already completed it. Where is Albert? Let's find him. He is passing Jonathan Kelly. He is going to pass Jonathan Kelly. secured P2, and eventually when Alexander Sabo goes to pit, he's going to secure P1. As we jump to Daniel Hirsch, who's getting into the battle with Albert here. Albert Guiana. Oh, sorry, with Victor Sabo. And easily gets right by him. The pace difference, that's all you can really say is Daniel Hirsch has the pace. I mean, he was in P3 before Jonathan Kelly decided to demonstrate what a pit maneuver looks like. Crash of the week? Maybe? You gotta follow the IG page to find out. Find out ahead of time before I show it live on stream. No. So far though, we have 18 minutes left in the race. Everyone is a fair distance amount away from each other. While we wait for some battles to turn up, or some distances to narrow. This is the semi-final race of the season 6 of 5f5racing.com. If you'd like to join us, there's one spot available for the Silvers League. The Gold League is already filled up, unfortunately. Silvers, though, we have one spot available, and our next track, or our grand finale, is going to be in the Green Hell, the Nürburgring. And it sucks to say, but I will not be here. I made plans and I cannot back out of these plans. Oh, yeah. Yana has a wife live. There is absolutely no shot that Albert Tranchisi got a stop and go penalty for speeding in the pits. It's either that or he forgot to put fuel. There is no shot. Stop and go. No way. Bro. Zach Manriquez is looking to take a P1. Alexander Sabo still has to pit. I don't know how far he is ahead of Zach. So let me see if I can find out their locations real quick. Okay, so he's coming out of the boot. Zach is just exiting chute, so he is not far enough. Alexander is not far enough to secure, to keep P1 secured. Oh my, it was just a battle between Chris and Sabo. Sabo is aggressively trying to get right behind Chris Unfair. Chris Unfair currently in P9. He was in P3 before he tragic hit with Daniel Hirsch earlier on in the race. If you just tuned in, he and Hirsch had a contact coming out of the outer loop. Pretty much, it was just a very light touch, but it was big enough to upset the balance of Chris Unfair's car, and he ended up hitting the wall, eating it pretty bad. Jonathan Kelly is getting very, very close, as well as Joshua. Jonathan Kelly and Jeff Kelly are right behind each other, or they're right next to each other. In terms of the leaderboard, they're not right behind each other, but interesting to note. Currently, we're watching Jonathan Kelly. He is trying to get up on Zach Manriquez. I'm like trying hard not to laugh. Just reading Zach Manriquez's wing. I know I'm supposed to say Iron Lames, but Ron. What happened? He just lost it very bad. We're gonna go back and review this because that was wild. He's on the accelerator here. Oh, he just, I guess, too aggressive. Didn't open up his steering. Lost his rears. Wow, what an unfortunate mistake and a brilliant opportunity. Or not even brilliant opportunity, just seized opportunity from Jonathan Kelly to get by him. Joshua Worley was also having a heated battle with Jeff Kelly that we're watching right now. Currently, Jonathan Kelly is in P1. Alexander Sabo finally in the pits to clear his pit. Joshua Worley 3/10 behind Jeff Kelly. He has to run. He's going to get right alongside Jeff Kelly, especially as soon as it starts straining up down the back straight. Straining up down the back straight, that just sounds dumb. Anyways, they're gonna go side by side heading into the inner loop. Jonathan Kelly's Jeff Kelly says, nah, side by side here. Heck no. Joshua Worley makes the move happen. Nicely done. Good pressure, good pressure. Good way to play chicken to see who has the will and determination to stick by you. Especially in those corners, the chicane of death. The chicanes of death. Jeff Kelly still fairly close to Joshua Worley. Worley, to me at least, coming out of nowhere and securing P3. Chris Unfair with the yellow flag of his own. What happened? He's picking up speed. Where is he? He's heading into tow. So he had an incident in chute. Potentially might have just lost the rear, but ended up catching it. Did he have damage? He ended up catching it by hitting the wall. Well, he has a fair bit amount of damage, unfortunately. It's not Chris's night. He's still in the top 10 though, so good on him for fighting it out. Kyle Busch and Jacob Meyer though, what are these two doing? They're not even next to each other. But they both have yellow flags and white flags, so they're both being slowed down and stuff. Not too sure what's going on. Our Guiana has a white flag. Daniel Hirsch passes him as if he was standing still. What happened there? Why did he let him pass? Especially since this was for position. Daniel Hirsch currently in P6. Albert Gianna now in P7. Albert Tranchisi behind both of them in P8. Oh, this is gonna get wild, especially when 9 minutes left. You know for certain that Tranchisi is going to cause these two to make mistakes, get messy, or potentially test out the safety rating of the track. I think the pressure is getting to Gianna as Albert Tranchisi. Is this a defensive attempt or... No, this is the pass. He's letting Albert Tranchisi go. He's not going to fight him for the positioning. Probably the absolute best thing that he could have done was that. Just get behind his draft and use his positioning and speed to catch up to Daniel Hirsch. Daniel Hirsch is going to have to eventually meet with Tranchisi. And meet quick as Tranchisi shaves off half a second, more than half a second. What speed? Oh my, he just closes the gap even more. Daniel Hirsch for sure feeling the heat now. Look how close he is. He's was hard on the brakes. What are they gonna do? He forces Daniel Hirsch out. Daniel Hirsch saw him. He got mad because he freaked him out. Oh, no way is he trying to go for that lunge. There is absolutely no shot. How was he able to secure that? And these two are fighting it out. This is a dogfight as we're watching it live. There's another fight happening between Jeff Kelly and Alexander Sabo. Alexander Sabo getting very, very close. We're going to quickly switch between these two. Check out what exactly is happening to Sabo. They're going to the mountain straight. Daniel on the defense, not letting Albert through. Albert potentially is going to have the drive out, and he claims the inside. This is a drag race to the inner loop, and I think Albert is going to secure this drag race run. He's 1/10 behind him. No shot is he going to stay that close, and I wouldn't. He doesn't. What a move. What a fight. Especially with 6 minutes left in the race. Anything can happen at this point. Albert Tranchisi currently in P6. Roughly 11 seconds from Alexander Sabo. Albert Tranchisi has the pace. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think he'll be able to catch Sabo, unfortunately. He's going to have to potentially be content with P6, but I will eat my words, and if he does end up happening to battle with Alexander Sabo, as Alexander Sabo tries to make a move happen. He's on the inside of turn 1 to 90 against Jeff Kelly. Hard on the brakes. Jeff Kelly tries to squeeze him out, use the full width of the track Sabo, though, has the inside. This is where you want to be. You do not want to be in Jeff Kelly's position. He's on the outside. Great move by Alexander Sabo. Got around Jeff Kelly. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 driving right. They both go into the bus stop. And they both exit the bus stop very, very nice and safe. What we love to see. Wondering what exactly happened to Jeff. His pace was fairly quick, and he's slowing down as the race goes on. Maybe his tire degradation that's messing him. Maybe he is just like me, and we hate nighttime driving. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe he has that. Because he was fast, and now he's slowing down. I say this because Alexander Sabo's personal best is a 147.545, and Jeff Kelly is a 147.002. So, half a second. Jeff Kelly's half a second faster, but he's losing ground. Makes me wonder if he has damage. Actually, before I even continue talking this massive trash, let me first let you guys know that Jeff Kelly is contending with some aero damage, as you see currently on the screen. I am talking massive shit for no reason. I'm so sorry. What happened, Jacob Meyer? You got a yellow and white flag here. Running a fairly clean lap though. He's currently sitting in P12. Right behind him is Joshua Worley. It's not a battle for positioning, so he gets out of the way. Very nice of him to do. Joshua Worley currently in P3. Trying to catch up to Zach Manriquez in P2. Would have been P1, but he had a very heavy slip up. Lost the rears coming out of turn 7. Pretty much allowed Jonathan Kelly to go by. Claim P1. And he's all alone. No one around him. He's 17 seconds ahead of Zach Manriquez. This is the perfect ideal spot where you want to be at. He is allowed, or he can afford to make a couple mistakes, or one serious big one, especially with a minute and a half left in the race. Dare I say, I don't think he can slow down enough to make the race end here. But that could be part of the strategy if he has enough time. And what I mean by that is if the timer runs out and it hits 0 before he crosses the finish line, that would be considered the final lap, and no other laps go on or get counted after that. So this could be the last lap, lap 32. Doing the math, he's 15 seconds out. He has if he slows down, he might be able to do it. I don't know if he's watching. I don't know if he's hearing me on stream. Don't take my quote though. Don't. I could be absolutely wrong, but he has the gap to do so. Oh, this is gonna be cutting it close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is this the final lap? Is this race finish?
And even has finished the race.
Jonathan Kelly does it. I think he's slowed down enough. He was probably listening on me. Congratulations to Jonathan Kelly, though, for P1. Zach Manriquez claiming P2. Joshua Worley, P3. Alexander Sappo fought his way to P4. Albert Tranchisi ends up passing Jeff Kelly. I completely missed this. P5, Jeff Kelly, P6. Daniel Hirsch, P7. Albert Guiana, P8. Chris Unfair coming in. Still driving. Who's behind him? Greg Landry. These two are actually fighting for position coming into the last lap. Or last final corners. Chris Unfair looking to be... Oh my, what speed! Oh, no way! Well, Greg Landry P9, Chris Unfair, if he can get turned around fast enough. Is he gonna just drive reverse all the way through? Wait. Did they just... Oh, Bush P11? Uh-huh. Listening to this song, is this a song that just doesn't, This might be one of the songs that gets red flagged by Spotify, and I will find out. Keep a mental note. Regardless, though, that was, Watkins Glen for you. Had plenty of battles. Congrats to Jonathan Kelly securing the win. Congrats to Zach Manriquez on claiming P2 and Joshua Worley for claiming P3. I'm very curious to see what exactly happened to Albert. I'm pretty sure that was a stop and go for speeding in the pits, or maybe he had too many track cuts. In which case he would probably get another stop and go. I believe it would be a stop and go. Not entirely sure how you would just get a drive-through. I think track cuts might just warrant drive-throughs. Excuse me. Regardless, though, thank you for sticking around. While I have you here, go ahead and show you the 5FIRacing.com website. That's 5FIRacing.com. Join us on Discord if you want to chat with us, see all the shit talks, or do other things. If you're on Twitch, hello. If you want to watch us on Twitch, there's Twitch right there. If you're on YouTube, hello. These get uploaded to YouTube regularly. Follow us on Instagram if you want the sneak peeks on the Crash of the Weeks or just anything exciting that happens in the race before I post it up in the race recaps. You check out the IG run by Greg Landry. Does a fantastic job. Makes me want to up my editing game like I did this time around in the race recap. And Reddit. Some posts here and there. Anyway, SimGrid SG. Click on that. If you want to race with me and a couple of other drivers, you can join us in the GT2 Season 2. We currently have... Wow, that got filled up fast. We have 3 spots left. Some of the races are streamed, and they're streamed by Daniel Hirsch, I believe. So if you want to join me in on the fight, watch me get into a tussle with you, please join. I can't show the registration because I'm already in it, but there you go. Anyways, we're in Season 6. The final race, as you'll see it here, series finale, is an endurance challenge in the Nürburgring Nordschleife. It's on June 27th. So it's in 2 weeks from now. I won't be here, unfortunately. I can, if no one ends up trying to stream it, I'll try to have everything set up where I can run the stream remotely, but no guarantees. It might not happen. I might not even have a consistent or good enough connection to make that happen. I don't even know if it's even possible for me to let that happen. But regardless, I will try to make it happen remotely if no one wants to stream it. I know it sucks. I'm beating myself up for it that I won't be here. But nonetheless, if you want to join us, we have 1 spot left in the Silver Sling. I am rambling on for way too long. Just register, fill that spot up, join us. Why is it in 2 weeks, you might ask? It's because one of these, the next week actually, is the qualifying, a week-long qualifying where you'll be able to just join a server, run your pits, run your laps, and I believe it gets an average lap of... It'll average out your laps, and that's where your positioning will be placed on the last race of the season. Once again, thank you for being here. I'm gonna miss you guys. I'll be gone. I hope you'll come back. And have a great, fantastic night. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. I'm sorry if anyone had earphones on. It was kind of loud. I'm actually adjusting the volume as I speak right now. Hopefully this volume is a lot better than what the intro and outro was. I'm not sure why everything is so loud, but anyways. I'll see you guys next time. us on Discord. Come on, man. Just click it. It says it right there on the screen. Just click on Discord and join in the action. Hey guys, bye.